Today, I'm here with Michael McCarthy, who is a senior support worker for Devonshire Lodge, right?
Yeah.
So let's get the formalities out of the way. How long you been there?
On the 25th of this month, I think we'll make it 2 years.
And prior to that, had you worked for another supported living company prior to that?
Well, it was basically house-to-house care, what do you call it?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So
what do you
like
call it?
domiciliary care sort of
that
thing?
one. I did that for maybe like 4 months after. That was my first job after coming to the UK.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you weren't brought up in the UK?
No,
Okay, where were you brought up?
Jamaica, Clarendon.
So tell me a bit about what led you coming to the UK. Was it just in search for work, or you had family here?
Well, basically, most of my family, they're living in the States. I was planning to go to the States as well, but then I met my wife, and she's living in the UK. So after I got married, I basically had to choose between the US and the UK, and I've chosen the UK. Yeah.
So you came over. So did you meet your wife in Jamaica?
I met her in Jamaica sometimes in 2010. Yeah. But we were just like friends after. So I met her in 2010. A few years after, we started communicating on Facebook and so on, and then that was it. We became friends, and then for a period of time until some years after, we decided to take it a step further. And we've been married for 4 years now.
So what did you do in Jamaica? What was your life there?
In Jamaica, I did construction. Yeah, me and my brothers, we basically had a construction company. Yeah, so that's what I did back then. But then I volunteered mostly at a nursing home. The church I went to, it at a nursing home. So on my free days, I would go there. I would support them with personal care, make sure they eat properly. I would take them out, hospital appointments and all that. Growing up, I would always see my mom. My mom, she was so selfless, so she lived for other people. So growing up in that kind of environment, it basically became a part of me.
You see, it's not everyone does that type of thing, Michael. Not everyone would give up their time voluntarily to help other people. And you're saying that this was just part of your life and your upbringing, that your mother would instill that in you.
Yes. Yeah.
So you would go and do that. But when you did that, did you enjoy doing that?
I enjoyed doing that. Just knowing that I can make somebody else's life better. Just knowing that, I can, because it was mostly like senior citizens. So, I mean, if it's the last of their life and I can make it better for them, it brings a meaning to my life and it brings me joy. I remember this all started. The church, the youth from the church, we decided to go out in the community and to visit the elderlies and so on. And I remember we saw some people that were living in some conditions. I remember there was this guy, he was so isolated. He was blind and he did not even know that he was blind. He thought the light was out and so on. I was just asking us to turn on the light and so on. And, there was this other guy, he was living by the sea. We went to feed him and he was in a mess. He had poo all over him and all that and so on. And we decided to give him a shower and whatever it is. And then, after seeing all that, we realized that the need was so great. So that's where even the nursing home started. So we decided to build a house and, to accommodate all these people and so on, as many as we could. And then the young people from the church would volunteer to make sure that they get their day-to-day care and so on.
So who built the church?
The church is run by my mom.
And so you built a nursing home?
Yeah.
So you built that?
Not me specifically, but the church built a nursing home.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you would go there and you set that up and you help
yes, and
take
I would
care of the
volunteer
people?
from day to day. Once I'm not at work, I'll be there volunteering.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have filled your heart looking after them people.
Yeah. I mean, when you saw their condition at first and then you realize that you could bring a difference to their lives, I mean, it really brings a joy and it brings a meaning to my life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like you have a purpose, a destiny for it.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there must be some heartbreaking moments.
Yeah, there were days when we would sit down and I can remember some of the youths from the church, they would cry when we would discuss all these things and so on. I mean, it was really heartbreaking. And so that's one of the reasons, we decided that we have to make a difference. And that we did.
And then the upside of that, when obviously there's a lot of sad moments, but the joyful moments when you're helping people, they must have been so grateful.
Yeah. That's it. When you see the joy that you bring to them,
it
brings joy to you as well. Yeah.
It just fills your heart.
Indeed. Yeah.
So in one sense, as much as you're putting in, you're getting out.
You're getting out. That's it.
And I suppose this is, the whole purpose of caring.
Yeah.
When you work in this field, the effort that you put in, the joy that you get received back,
that's it,
fills you.
That's it.
I found out a little bit about you before. You've been in the magazine and stuff, and I've spoken to Powell and Holly about you, and they said that you set up some sort of charity in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Okay, so basically, growing up in the community, the need in the community is really great. I mean, growing up, I realized that most people go to school. Many did not pass high school stage. Many dropped out of high school and so on. And I realized most people would become either taxi drivers, fishermen, or they would just set up a shop at the roadside and whatever it is and so on. And I'm thinking, I need to bring a change to that community. I mean, how can I provide opportunities for the young people, opportunities that I did not have? I want to provide that opportunity for them, so they can understand that there's a bigger world out there. I mean, so they can understand that, listen, it doesn't matter how big your dream is, you can achieve it, and so on. I mean, nothing is too big. If you can imagine it, then you can achieve it. So basically, me and my wife, we have decided that, we're going to set up like an education center for those that have dropped out of school, those that are going to school but are struggling, and so on. So it's basically going to be a library, an homework center, it would be like a training center as well, and so on. And, we want to impart that which we know. We want to get other people involved. We want to provide work experience and so on. So those are some of the things. So far, it's still in the foundation stage. We have managed to secure a land and so on. So we're just trying to put funds together so we can set up the building and so on.
Have you on the social media platforms? How are you trying to send your message out to people?
Well, one of the things we've done, we have set up a GoFundMe page. We have on social media, we have tried to send out information on social media and so on. Members from the church, we have gotten them involved and so on. So those are some of the things that we're trying to do to accumulate funds.
And how are you doing with that? I mean, are you just in the early stages of that?
We're still in the early stages.
Have you got any monies put away yet?
So far, we've got maybe like £1,500.
And how much do you think you would need to be able to set up the building? How much money would your target figure be?
I'm looking at like £150,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's primarily just pure donations?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have to get that message out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or to a wider audience, and maybe people feel the same way as you.
Yeah.
Might try and put a hand in their pocket. We'll promote, obviously, the GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
And see how we can maybe generate a little interest for you. Just a little way we can do something.
Yeah.
So you've come over to the UK. You're married now.
Yeah.
You set up home here. What was your first job? You said you were working for like domiciliary care.
Yeah.
How did you come to find Magic Life?
I have a cousin that works with Magic Life.
And how has your experience been with us?
So far, the truth is I did not plan to stay long, maybe like 3-4 months and so on. But after I started and so on, I got used to the service users, and so I'm thinking I haven't felt the feeling of going anywhere so far. So I'm good so far.
You enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. And for me, it's like this is more than just a job. I can get up, I can do 5 days, sometimes 6 days, and I don't have to worry about getting out of bed in the mornings and so on. That's how much I enjoy, because I've done jobs before wherein it was a nightmare to get out of bed to go to work and so on. I don't have that problem. So it's for me, it's way greater than the money or so. I really enjoy doing this.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. Who do you feel that you've connected with and made an impact with?
I would say Oliver. Mm-hmm. Because I remember when I met Oliver, like maybe like 2 years ago or so. It was scary, if I should be honest.
Yes,
it was scary. I remember my first shift with him, he threw a table at me and so on. I mean, Oliver would mostly remain in the flat, and just going to the garden at the trampoline was an achievement and so on. And I've seen Oliver now where, I mean, we can go almost anywhere, you know, we can go places, we can do things, we can enjoy the shift and so on. And it's good.
I mean, I've seen so many photos come out of Devonshire Lodge. I mean, I think the last batch, there was 320 photos. There was 51 videos. And some of those, and the month prior to that was a video of Shika horse riding. And then another video got sent through of Oliver horse riding. And I remember watching you. And I wasn't really so much watching Oliver, but I was more watching you. And it almost felt like you were like a father figure. You were just so happy. I could see it in your face as you was running round with the horse, looking at Oliver's face and, you know, getting enjoyment from watching him enjoying the activity. Tell me about that. How does it make you feel?
Like I said, you know, these things are for me major achievements. I mean, when you see especially knowing where they used to be and, you know, where they are now and so on. I mean, for me, it's a great achievement, and this is how I look at it. It's always worth giving it a try. And what's the worst that can really happen? I mean, it's either it works or it doesn't work. And when you go and you see that it really works out and so on, I mean, it brings, you know, enjoyment. It's a good thing. Yeah.
In terms of working for a company like Magic Life or any supported living company, I suppose you can write the rule book yourself, right? You don't have to just be sitting in a room. And this is something that I would tell new staffs. I mean, it is basically what you make it. You determine how it is for you. You don't have to just sit down and just, you know, or you come here and you see other people doing things a particular way. You don't have to. You can take it out of the box. If you have new ideas, whatever you can come up with, you know, we can make it happen. I mean, it's not just limited to just come in here, sit down every day and whatever it is. It's not limited to that. You know, you can create opportunities for them, and even for yourself as well. And, you know, all that. I mean, so it's basically what you make it at the end of the day. So this is, if you was giving a message out to anyone thinking about joining a company like ours, I suppose that's the message. You can make it what you want it to be.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And make your own career in it, you know,
That's
and find your niche and say, look, this is what I like doing. I don't like maybe sitting down just in a room. You know, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing, and you find the company that works for you.
That's it.
I mean, I think with the leadership of POW, with Holly's support, I see Devonshire like a real great team there. You seem to support each other.
That's it. At Devonshire, I think we're more like a family. Yeah, we're more like a family. Colleagues, service users. I mean, we're really bonded like a family. Yeah. And even as you mentioned about you know, you can, for example, I love photography, and it's something I really love. And what I try to do, I try to incorporate that in a sense wherein I would go out with service users. Instead of using my phone, sometimes I would walk with my camera and I would practice my shots and so on. So I'm benefiting, and, you know, they're benefiting, and everybody's benefiting. Yeah. And even as you mentioned about Pav, I think Pav is a great manager and so on. And even in that field, he tried to support me as best as possible and so on. So indeed, it's good.
I get the sense that you're quite a spiritual person, a religious person.
Yeah.
Your faith has led you down this route, would you say?
I personally believe, as a Christian, I believe in love being not just something that you say or it's just something that you feel, but it's something that you have to do, if you understand what I'm saying. And basically, when you look out for especially the most vulnerable that are unable to stand up for themselves and whatever it is, I believe that that's something our religion teaches, you know, basically Christ, he looks out for the vulnerables, you know, those that are able to stand up for themselves, those that does not have a voice for themselves, whatever it is. So if I can be that voice, if I can stand up for them, you know, if I can fill that gap wherein they are not capable, for me, that is working alongside my faith.
What advice would you give to anyone who is thinking of coming into support work?
Well, basically, I think first you would have to have a love for this work, because it can be challenging sometimes and so on. But it is basically what you make it. You decide what it is for you. So I mean, if you have a love for this work, you know, I would say go for it. But if it's just about, you know, the money and whatever it is, then that can be a problem. I mean, the money is very important and all that, but if that is the basis of everything, and if everything surrounds that, then chances are you might not last, because like I said, it can be very challenging or whatever it is, but it is basically what you make it at the end of the day. If you're looking to make somebody's life better, to improve somebody's life, you know, to do for them what they cannot do for themselves, whatever it is, then this is the right place, this is the right industry, this is the right profession. That's basically how I look at it.
Mm. When you have a new support worker who's not been in this industry before, and they come in, do you take a lead in sort of developing them and teaching them how to become a good support worker?
Yes, I try to do that as best as possible. As long as I'm around them or they're around me, I try to impart as much as possible to them. And as much as they're new, I still try to learn whatever I can learn from them. And one of the things I would try to tell them is, you know, even whatever I'm imparting onto you, can take it, but find what is in you, and, you know, add it to whatever you can learn and so on. And that will help you to develop into a better support worker.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a certain skills that people require are needed to be a good support worker? Well, I mean, what sort of qualities does someone have to have?
Okay. So the thing is that you can, there are some things that, well, you can learn and so on, but I think the deepest requirement has to come from within. And I think that's love for people, tolerance, you know, patience. You need all that and so on. And I don't think that's something that you will actually get from without. It's something you have to find within. And when you have that, then you can add that to whatever knowledge you have and so on. And with all that, you will be a great support worker.
That's good advice.
It is a great job. I mean, it brings a fulfillment when you can, you know, you do something for somebody, or you make their life better, and you see in what way you're bridging that gap between what they can and cannot do. It basically, you fill that gap and so on. And when you see that it improves their lives, when you see that you are a part of their family, they look to you for support and all that, it brings a fulfillment. So it might be looked down on or whatever it is, but it takes a great heart to really do this kind of work.
When you have good support workers that are already in situ, and then you have new people that join the company, they learn off of that, and they learn what makes a good support worker, and all the qualities. You know, obviously you still need the basics.
Yes.
You know, but when if you had a company full of people who didn't really want to be there, and the new people join, they go, "Oh, we'll just do the same as you."
That's it.
But when we see them, we have good people who are really trying hard to make the lives of the people we have better.
That's it.
They see, okay, this is the standard I need to be at.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. I remember when I was doing the previous job, you know, you would be paid for maybe like 30 minutes or 45 minutes, an hour or so on. But sometimes it has to be bigger than just the money, that you're gonna have to see this, because this is how I look at it. Whatever I would want for myself or a family member of mine, that's what I have to give. So would I feed a family member, or would I want somebody to feed my family member and leave them in a mess or whatever it is? So basically I have to go beyond the 30 minutes, the 45 minutes to make sure I'm pleased, they're pleased, or whatever it is, and so on. So as I mentioned, there got to be a foundation, something great in you as a support worker to really drive you beyond. And not only that, in an industry as this, when you work with other people and stuff like that, when majority has that, when majority have that standard, then for the newcomers, it's something that they will have to, build on. It's something that they would have to be a part of. But when majority is just carefree and, I'm just here because I have no other option or whatever it is, then standard will be broken down. I mean, people will be neglected and whatever it is. So, and here, even here at Devonshire Lodge, I think we have a great team, and majority, I can say majority, have a love for the job. That, there's a standard here that we try not to go below and so on. And then for the newcomers, they come and indeed they try to join in and be a part of that standard. So, yeah.
So it basically, it breeds a culture of, this is what we're here for. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
we're not going to let our guard down. We're going to do the very best to support our people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's evident. You can see that.
Yeah.
You can see that within the project, how much, people genuinely care. So do you think you will always be in this type of industry?
Yes. Yeah. Even if it's a case where I have to do my own thing or whatever it is, but I think this is something that I'm always going to be in, because there's just one me, and I'm not going to live forever, but for the time that I'm alive, if I can make as many people's life better, then my one life would be worth living, if that makes sense. Yeah.
You know what? You're a lovely guy. And I think there's nothing really else to add to this. Michael, I really appreciate you giving me your time. You're an inspiration, man. You really are.
You.
Thanks very much, man.
Thanks a lot.
Really appreciate it.
No worries.